Now, as you may have seen from the last video, Leiwa over here is kind of feeling a bit left out. I gave him a bit of a bog to stand on, but there's not too much jungle happening amidst the rest of this, but we'll get to him in a minute. First off though, I want to get to my revised version of Kopaka. So this is the 2001 model, of course, and this is definitely the inspiration that I drew from. For Kopaka, I went back to the sword and the shield, but I kept the blaster. That was something that I found really fun to play around with, and I even sort of edited the blaster. So instead of you spinning the sort of inner flick fire function, you spin the barrel, and it actually has much more accuracy in firing from one single point. You can kind of aim from the shield on this side. I'm not going to flick these out because I probably won't find them until spring. I'm going to show just how much this guy weighs because there's been a lot of bulk added, so we're just zeroed in now. So we're just at 4.9 right now, which is exactly what he was like from before. So I finally managed to sort of juggle all the mass of the plastic, and I think we're going to be okay weight-wise. Now, I know that just going by weight of the plastic is a very crude way of measuring how the budget would compare, but that's the kind of best reference that I have to go for right now. And it was actually a pretty good challenge. And it certainly was, mainly because by doing that I have to see what I can really subtract from the fundamental parts. And as you can see, I've had to really change up the building technique of the shoulders. The chest piece itself has remained entirely the same, just because I think that part functions really, really well. As for the shield, I wanted to sort of develop, again, like another sort of snowboarding or tobogganing type of device to it, and incorporate the blaster into it, so that sort of slots on. As for the sword, I had to actually sacrifice some weight in there. This is the part that I'm least satisfied with. It's just crudely sort of buckled together here. Lets you have like a sort of scissor feature, which I don't remember this Kopaka having. If I had friction pieces that were lower profile, that'd be perfect for this. Because really I can't add any more. This is cutting it right down to the bare bones while also not having anything too gappy. Initially I had problems with how skinny this stock was, and I wanted to sort of add bulk on the biceps and on the shoulders, but really I realized that with the massive shield, Kopaka has never really been about just brute strength. He uses a lot of sort of wit and intellect to figure his way out of situations. Obviously also by a lot of elemental force, but he doesn't have to necessarily be a bulky guy. I actually went with a sort of lightweight, bony plating, trying to show that he's not Onua, which is this earth protector. He's got like the biggest football player body you'll ever see. But yeah, in case you're wondering, I took off all the crystal plating, also for Leiwa, and kind of made this bouquet out of it. I found that they took up too much weight and didn't add too much to the playability of it. Now granted, by having Kopaka's golden mask, it really sticks out. The only time it's going to look nice is when you have Melum attached on top, which you're certainly going to get in the set. Sadly though, that's kind of the main golden part. The only other gold I used was actually for Melum's tail. The other changes I've had to add is subtracting a bit of material on the legs, so that's why you actually have a different plating system here, which offers a bit more flexibility, but I even took away the sort of ammo disc and added it just to the back of the blaster here. Now this part doesn't spin, it's actually the barrel which will spin, and that'll fire only from one single area, so ideally it should be more accurate fire at that point. To go over the shield a bit more, because that's kind of one of the larger features. So you can see with Kopaka right now, he's currently on his blaster toboggan. The idea is that he can actually attach with one foot to the bottom here. He can wield his sword in front and sort of brace for impact, or sort of lash out at various villains. The hardest part also about developing the blaster, aside from just weight issues, was actually trying to figure out how to make this less than flush. So you get the idea where anytime that it's on a surface, the blaster will actually be recessed up beyond where anything could actually hit into it, because as with the snow, hasn't actually been gummed up yet, which is nice. So that was one of the main goals of developing the shield in the first place, was just how can Kopaka ride this thing. So that concludes my revision of Kopaka. I hope you liked it. I know it's certainly not as gold as it could possibly be, but in this way I'm using the same amount of plastic in it. In theory, this would be the exact same budget on shelves and everything, but in my opinion, with a shield, with a sword that has a splitting feature, and with a toboggan that you can ride and run over Umarak with, potentially. Thanks for tuning in, I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.